All right, so Emmett Shankle is a graduate of UT Tyler. He earned his bachelor's degree in ecology. At the age of 20, he won first place in a poetry competition and was recognized as an international poet. He is a published author and an award-winning speaker. He took third place in District 50 for a speech competition held by the Toastmasters International. He is the director of martial arts at Laterno University, where he has taught anti-bullying and kidnap prevention camps in the summer since 2010. He has a black belt with over 30 years of experience and took fourth place in the 2009 National Karate Championships. He provides employee training on situational awareness, women's self-defense, and more. Mr. Shankle travels to schools, churches, government agencies to deliver the presentations on public safety. Previous clients for Mr. Shankle include On Compass Health, Longview Police Department, and the American Red Cross. So if you will please join with me in welcoming Mr. Shankle.
Good morning, everyone. How are we? Good. Oh, now wait a minute. Let's do that again. Good morning, everyone. How are we? Good. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Well, thank you so much for having me today. I want to take a minute and discuss some of the key points of situational awareness as it pertains to Realtor Safety Month. Before I get into that, if I may, there's an old man sitting on a porch. He stared at his rusty blue pickup and he said, "Today will be the day." So he got in the truck, drove to the dealership, and purchased his dream car. Brand spanking new red Corvette. Paid cash for it, drove it right off the lot. As soon as he left that dealership, he got on the highway and he opened it up. 80 miles per hour. It was a smooth ride. He felt freedom like he's never felt before. He felt the wind blowing through his hair. What hair he had left. And then he noticed in the rearview mirror those lights, the red and blue lights. Then he heard a siren that accompanies it. And he knew right out the gate he was in trouble. And for some strange reason, he punched it. He went from 80 to 100, from 100 to 120 miles per hour. Finally, the voice of reason spoke to him, and he's like, "Oh, wait. I'm too old for this. I'm gonna kill somebody. I've gotta pull over." So he pulls over. The state trooper gets out of the car, goes over to the old man's sports car, says the following: "My shift ends in 30 minutes. It is a Friday. Now, if you can tell me a reason that I've never heard as to why you were speeding up and down my highway, I give you my word, I'll let you go." So the old man looks up at the state trooper and he says the following: "Well, a long time ago, my wife left me for a state trooper. I'll be honest, I just thought y'all were trying to bring her back." State trooper says, "You have a good weekend." Thank you so much. There's a purpose beside sharing that. It wasn't just for comedic humor and timing. The story, the joke itself, illustrates how small, minute decisions impact us. So I want to talk about the very first and front line when it comes to self-defense, personal safety, realtor safety. It's always going to boil down to one key component: your situational awareness. Now, in the first few minutes of this speech, of this keynote, I'm going to talk about situational awareness. We're going to segue into the specifics of the fight or fright response. I'm going to talk about your profession, the risk factors, the protective factors. All of that's going to be discussed shortly today. All right, so let's get right into the situational awareness. There are 4 types of situational awareness. Does anybody know the 4 types of situational awareness? No? Okay, all right. I'm one of those speakers. I'm very engaging. I'll be asking questions and showing of hands. Just a quick warning. The first type is your own personal situational awareness. It is the verbal and nonverbal signals that you send out every single day, everywhere you go. The second type of situational awareness is the other person's situational awareness. And again, it is the verbal and nonverbal signals coming from other people. The third type of situational awareness is environmental. The environmental type of situational awareness, go ahead. All right. The third type of situational awareness is going to be environmental situational awareness. Right now we're assembled in a meeting hall. This is a luncheon. If we change it just a little bit, we have a big speaker over here, a big speaker over here, a DJ booth and table. It's a wedding reception. The environment changes. The way we communicate changes. You're going to see people standing in closer proximity. You're going to see this common phrase with the nonverbal communication. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So that changes. The fourth and final type of situational awareness is going to boil down to cultural situational awareness. In America, we like our space. We like our 3 feet. In other places, they're close. Too close for our comfort. In America, we shake hands. Other places, they shake hands, but they don't shake hands with the unclean hand. They don't do that. Other places, they greet each other with a handshake and a kiss on the cheek, regardless of gender. These are things you have to be aware of when you're in other countries, the norms and societal cultures, okay? Now, show of hands, anybody heard of the late great Jeff Cooper? He's the man that actually created Cooper's color code. There we go, okay? So, I'm gonna introduce to you Cooper's color code. You can pull out your phone and look it up. It's been modified over the years. We're gonna keep it simple with the first 4 colors, all right? I've got a golden nugget for you in the next 3 minutes, okay? We're gonna start with the white. The white is someone that's easily distracted, constantly looking at the phone. Go ahead and shame your neighbor for me real quick. Okay. Thank you for that. All right. Here's another opportunity to shame your neighbor. They never remember where they park. Never. Men and women. We're in a hurry, we got the kids, we're scrambling, and we're doing this number right here in the parking lot. I know it's so loud. I gotta go, I'm in a hurry. That sends out signals to the bad guys sitting in that car 2 hours, waiting. Who are they waiting for? Somebody just like you. That's who they're waiting for. That's exactly who they're waiting for. Okay? Now that golden nugget I promised you. This is the yellow. If you don't remember anything else, remember this. The yellow, that color, is someone that operates like this. They're alert, but relaxed. They're constantly scanning that environment, constantly noting the exits and the entrances for any situation. The orange is the next color in Cooper's color code. That's when something is wrong. You can feel it in your gut. Every law enforcement professional will tell you, trust your gut. Let me prove it to you and explain why you should trust your gut from a scientific point of view. You have 12 cranial nerves. One of them goes all the way down into your digestive tract, face nerve, okay? That's why. That's what it's there for, to give you that sixth sense of like, something's not quite right. When an orange situation envelops, something's wrong, and now you have to confirm there is a threat or is not. That's the orange level. So for example, if me and my wife go camping, side note, that's never gonna happen. If we go camping and I hear a rustling in the bushes 34 yards out, well, I'm gonna get a firearm and I'm gonna go check it out. I found out it's just a raccoon. Okay, no big deal. I have a response pattern set in my DNA. If it's just a raccoon, no problem. What if it's not a raccoon? What if it's a 400-pound bear? then we have a different set of options that we have to discuss. And it's got to be that fast. All right? Does that make sense so far with everybody? Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, all right, all right. So a quick example of what this pertains to when it comes to your profession. We live in an information age. And what makes realtors soft targets easy to get to is part of that information age. Raise your hand if you have a social media account of any kind. Raise your hand if you have your realtor business set up on any social media platform. Do this exercise, not right now, whenever you have time. Let a trusted friend, neighbor, someone at church, switch phones with them. Spend about 5 minutes, just 5, looking up everything that they can find out about you, and you look up everything they can find out about them. Start with a simple online search, and then go on to any social media platform, switch the phones out, and just have them look for you. Bad guys do this, and those type of bad guys are the most dangerous kind, because they've already made a decision. I want that. Now, there's 2 types of bad guys out there. We're gonna forget the opportunistic criminals and all that other stuff. 2 types of bad guys. That's all you need to worry about. Bad guys that want the possessions, bad guys that want the person. That's it. You don't need to worry about nothing else. All that other stuff, 2 types. You need to understand the level of determination when it comes to dealing with these people. They've had enough time to know your eye color, your hair color, what you drive, where you work, all that stuff, because it's in the palm of their hands. Okay? So bear that in mind when it comes to your social media marketing. Go into settings. Get yourself a table of experts. Okay? We're going to talk about that table of experts later in the keynote. Now, real quickly, when it comes to keeping yourself safe, there's layers. The vetting process, the paperwork is wonderful. Always, 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 always have somebody come into the office first. Have them fill out that paperwork. Those are great contingency plans. You also need to be mindful of what happens if. Let me give you an example of what happens if, okay? What happens if you see a female name on the paperwork? Okay, Tiffany. On a subconscious level, you drop your guard just a hair, just a little bit. What happens when you finally get over there to the place to show the property? You see a woman, you don't know if it's Tiffany. Tiffany has a friend, a big corn-fed friend. Now what? His name was not on any single paperwork. Driver's license, background check, nothing. What do? Do you get out of the car? Do you call and confirm? What do? What's the plan? So that's what we do. I collaborate with businesses to collaborate protocols and safety measures for those moments that, oh my God, that needs to be done for your personal safety, because you have to be proactive about your personal safety. Nobody here decided that they were going to get up and be attacked or robbed today. Watch this. Bad guys don't use technology to coordinate a time to come and get you. Hey, this is Derek. I have a attempted burglary at your house at 3 o'clock. Is that still good for you? Okay, very good. Well, I do have a gas station robbery that morning, and depends on how it goes, I'll be there. They don't do that. They don't do that, okay? So moving right along. Question, what is the most dangerous place that we're gonna visit in the next 5 days? Anybody know the most dangerous place you're gonna visit in the next 5 days? It's called a gas station. What makes gas stations so dangerous? Several things. Traffic. Lots of people come in and out of gas stations. What else makes a gas station dangerous? Access to the money. There's the exit, here's the cash. These are soft targets. You have to think like a bad guy. So everywhere you go, restaurants, man, anywhere you see cash right here, that's the first place bad guys are gonna attack, is the cash. And then the exit. How close can I get to that exit? So gas stations are one of the softest targets out there. So I need you to be mindful of that, okay? Now, self-defense and realtor safety All those things go hand in hand. But at the same time, we need to assess and analyze where you are because it's a subjective process. If you have Amber, a 25-year-old realtor, she's ambitious. She's going to be breaking records. She's up and coming. Well, Amber has a background. Amber can actually run, 2-time state champion. So if it came down to it, Amber has no problem running 2 miles. So if she goes to this particular property, anything goes sideways, she has the ability to run, and she's good. Let's take it a different step further. What if Amber had that same background but she had a car wreck? What are her defense options now? I always encourage people, if you can, run. The problem is, what if you can't sustain it? What if they catch you? You need to formulate a plan. What are the weakest targets that you can attack? What are you willing to do to go home? I have to be very transparent and very honest with you. This is their level of determination. They've already weighed the cost. What's the worst thing that happen? I can go to jail, okay? What's the worst thing that happen? Well, they may have a gun, they may shoot me. Well, it's okay. They've already decided that this is their level of determination. If this is your level of determination, that's not good. You need to have a level of determination that exceeds theirs. And sometimes I get it, because we're not a barbaric, violent culture. I get it. It's hard to say, oh my God, I have to inflict pain on this person. I need you to remember this, if you don't remember anything else. What are you willing to do to go home? Some people need reminders that it's okay to be rude. It's okay to be violent when the situation calls for it. So let me give you an example of what that may look like. What are you talking about, rude? Panhandlers. Sometimes you don't need to break your stride. When you break your stride, you put yourself at risk. They always do the 2 bumps and looks. When you're walking towards a panhandler, they look at you, you look at them. Eyes meet, eye contact right there. You look at them, they look at you. Do you look away? You do what everybody does. Pick up a fake phone call. Hey, yeah, this is Sarah. Can I call you back? You do whatever it takes so you don't have to look at them again. But bad guys prey on your civility. They know it's eating at you. So they may gesture. They may wave to get the second bump, the second look. When you give the second look, that means you're susceptible to suggestion. That's all it means. There's something called social engineering, and that's part of it. Knowing the nonverbal cues of how to manipulate people to get closer to them so that I can extract what I want from them. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it entails. Okay. Now, real quickly, I want to talk about flight and fright. Everybody knows that term, but I don't want to talk about a simple dichotomy of that. No, let's go ahead and delve deeper into that. Let's talk about the neurochemical transactions that take place between your brain. Let's talk about the anatomy and the physiology that takes place when you are scared to death, scared for your life. What's going on inside of you? One of the first things that happens is a cocktail of chemicals. Endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, all kinds of stuff starts flying. Cortisol, all this stuff starts swirling. In the next 3 to 5 seconds, it's literally going to change us from the inside out. One of the first things that happens is your respiratory system. You start breathing faster in a rhythmic pace. Your cardiac system, your cardiovascular system is activated at a higher pace. Your heart beats 5 times faster than normal when you're scared. Does anybody know why? Anybody know why? Okay, all right. The simple reason why is because your muscles need blood. They need oxygen, fresh blood and fresh oxygen. Why? Because it's priming you for movement. You go to any type of physical sport, soccer, basketball, ball, whatever it is, you have to stretch and warm up first. Your brain and body know. Warming up's not an option. Warming up is too late for that. So We are engineered to warm up instantly. When it comes to energy, glucose is metabolized by your liver, giving you that boom, that boost, that energy. Your pulmonary system, your lungs open up and put more oxygen into your blood, into your bloodstream. So your cardiovascular system and your pulmonary system work together in conjunction to oxygenate all those muscles. Muscles that will be used for punching, muscles that will be used for running. So you're primed and ready to go at this point. Your ears, your hearing sharpens. Your pupils, they dilate. That's where that conversation of tunnel vision comes from. That's where it comes from. All these things and a whole lot more happen. And then you have two options. You have flight and you have fright. But nobody talks about the other response, the other defense mechanism. That's called freeze. We've seen it 1,000 times when a deer is stuck in the headlights. That's a deer's defense mechanism. In nature, it works for deer sometimes against natural predators. Cars are not natural predators. Roads and cars are not in the library of a deer's comprehension because it's not in their natural environment. Doesn't compute. When a human freezes, the first thing that goes is your breathing. The thoughts are going to run 100 miles per hour, just like that, just like that, just like that, just like that. And your breathing, you won't be able to control it. You'll be hyperventilating. And you'll be right here in the middle, unable to go into flight or fright. So when you have a life and death situation, you need to plan on experiencing that firsthand. So you need to run in place exercise, whatever it is, so that you can have a simulation of what that means. Your gross and fine motor skills deteriorate once it gets to a certain level. So many beats per minute. You can't write your name when those chemicals are fired up and your thoughts are moving that fast. You can't even write your name anymore. So those things go out the window. So in order to bring it back, you have to control your breathing. You have to control your fear. Whatever makes you scared, you have to be unscared and too scared not to take action. Does that make it clear? Everybody clear with that? Okay. So let's process this together. I want to talk about attributes from Cooper's color code when it comes to what attracts bad guys and what repels bad guys. So if we look at a person that operates in the white, someone that's a young person constantly on their phone, not paying attention, right? That's someone that's in the white. Let's say that this person goes to work. They go to work. They commute to work, just a normal day behind the wheel, not paying attention, get to work, go to their office, start working, just autopilot. They go to lunch. When they go to lunch, they don't make a note of the primary and secondary exits. Emmett, what is that? I don't understand. What is a primary and secondary exit? A primary exit is typically going to be a door. That's going to be your primary exit. Your secondary exit requires some work. It could be a window of some sort, meaning that you have to break it to get out of it, to gain access. These are things that are pertaining to your personal safety that you have to be proactive about. The person in the white goes to the restaurant, they have no idea where the restroom is. They go there all the time and don't even know where the restroom is. They have no idea where the kitchen is. Why do you need to know where the kitchen is in the restaurant? Who cares? So what? Simple. If there's any kind of crisis of any kind in a restaurant, everybody in that restaurant, whether it's a fire, robbery, active shooter, whatever it is, when people start running, everybody else starts running for the same doorway. We run for the door that we can see, and we follow the crowd. If you know where the kitchen is in a restaurant, you know where the employee exit is in the restaurant. 2 people going out that door, 30 people going out that door. What are my odds? I'll take that one. Door number 3, Alex, thank you. I'll take that one. Why? Because that's easily accessible and far less traffic. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody so far? Okay. So the white is something that you have to be mindful of. Stay out of the white. White exposes you to more risk than necessary. Okay? Now, let's move on to the yellow. The person that operates in the yellow, here's that sweet spot, that golden nugget. We're back on that topic again. When you operate in the yellow, you're calm, you're scanning your environment. When you have a reflective surface, you're actually looking in the reflective surface to scan what's going on behind you. You're walking in the parking lot and you look at a car and you see your reflection in the car. And then you see somebody that's a little bit too close. That's someone who's operating in the yellow. Ladies, there's nothing wrong with being rude. Being rude saves lives all the time. If someone is in your personal space, you're well within your rights to turn around, excuse me, and put your palm up. Why do you do that? Because the nonverbal signals, you need to communicate to people that are 20 feet away that you don't know this person. We are not friends. This is not my husband or boyfriend. When you put the palm up, excuse me, who are you? It's okay to ask questions. Some people will say, oh, that's rude. Oh, no, it's not. I teach self-defense and anti-kidnapping at the Turner for 12 years. And that's the first thing I tell my kiddos. When someone comes up, hey, Danny, I work with your dad. I'm here to pick you up. Start asking questions. Where does my dad work? How do you know him? Are you in the same department? Start playing 20 questions right there. The people that are lying, it always falls apart quickly. It always falls apart, okay? So that yellow, stay in the yellow. Stay in the yellow. Someone operating in the yellow has no problem coming up with an exit strategy. They already have improvised weapons on their personal. Yes, lots of realtors have something in case something goes sideways. Pepper spray is a very popular product amongst realtors. Also, when the pepper spray hits the bad guy and he keeps coming, what's the strategy? What's the next move? Lots of people are excited about September when we have the new gun laws coming in. Permitless carry and other things are coming up. Make sure that whatever weapon you choose, that you understand the legalities. I can't stress it enough. Lots of people get guns and don't know any gun laws. Make sure that if you find yourself in a situation and you want to claim self-defense, make sure that the law doesn't disagree with what happened. You need a fundamental understanding of these things: intent, mean, preclusion, opportunity, and more. You need to know what those things mean if you pull out a gun and defend yourself. If you defend yourself and you do what you have to do to get home within reason of the law, and someone is injured permanently, they're maimed, or they don't survive their injuries, you're gonna need counseling. What kind of counseling are you gonna need? You may need a crisis counselor. Update your list now. This is what should be at a realtor's table, You should have a legal expert, legal counsel of some kind, to talk about self-defense law. That should be on your speed dial. You should have someone in your circle, in your network, that you can bounce these questions off of. Because you bought the gun, you just didn't plan on using it. And that's the case with a lot of people. Because they pull it out, and they don't want to, but he wouldn't stop. I was scared for my life. These things happen all the time. So why not make a plan? Why not be prepared for that? Is there anything wrong with making a plan? Show of hands, who thinks it's a good idea to make a plan? Okay, that's good, that's good. I think that's good, it's good to make a plan. All right, now before I close out today, I have some people that I want to thank. Have you ever had a friend, a colleague first, that turns into a friend later on? Like, they're just there. When you call and you need help and it's at the last minute, you call other people and they're busy and they're booked and nobody can help you, you call that one person and they say, yeah, I'll be there. Raise your hand if you have that one person in your life. Yeah, okay. Well, I'd like to thank my friend on the other side of the lens, Mr. Michael Poto. Let's give him a hand. He is recording this for me as a favor. Yes, he does videography. He used to. He doesn't really do it anymore. He actually sells insurance, health insurance. So he can definitely help you. I have his card right here if you need it. All right? Other people I'd like to thank before I close out. I would like to thank the Longview Association of Realtors for having me today, the entire board, as well as the CEO and president, Mr. Bill Maxwell. I want to let you know that if you're willing contact me this month. I have no problem giving you a consultation on the house to assess what your self-defense needs are. I have no problem contacting you and setting up an appointment later on this year. If you're here in this room today, then you get that discount. Do I have anything else to say? One more thing. During my keynote today, I received a text. Apparently, one of my friends is having a midlife crisis, and he wants to go to the dealership to buy a brand new Mustang. So, with that being in effect, I think I must relinquish this microphone. Thank you so much for your time. You guys have a blessed and wonderful day. If you need anything, that's what I'm there for. Give me a call. God bless you and take care.